What if I told you failure is not just a bump in the road to success? What if it's the entire road itself? Every breakthrough, every moment in history, every major success starting with what? Failure. And today I'm going to be showing you why failure might be the most important thing that has ever happened to you. Now before we get into it, think of a moment in your life where you have failed. Before we dive in, take a second and think about this. What is a moment when you in life where you can sit down and say, I failed? Did you use it to grow, or did failure stop you from chasing your dreams? Hold on to that thought because we're going to revisit later. Let's start with this. Failure is not what you think. Most people see failure as the end, or they see it as a sign that they're not good enough or just so far gone beyond repair. But in reality, failure is the ultimate teacher. Every mistake gives you data. It shows what worked and what didn't, and what you need to change to move forward. Now here's an example. I would go 0-30 before I go 0-9. 0-9 means you beat yourself. You psyched yourself out the game. The only reason is because you have now lost confidence in yourself. And that is from Kobe being Bryant. R.I.P. Kobe. Kobe was dropping like 50 points a game. I think he was better than Michael Jordan in my opinion. Alright, but let me lock in real quick. Problem is we have been conditioned to avoid failure. We're so scared of failure. In school, failure means you didn't study hard enough. At work, failure means you didn't get the job right. But what they don't teach you is failure is where the real growth starts. Like I said in school, when you fail, this low-key over with. You might be able to do corrections, go to tutorials, get a better grade, but like you can only get so much high of a grade. But in real fucking life, when you fail, there's no fucking limits where you can bounce back. So why are we so afraid to fail? It's because of judgment. We are afraid of what people would think if we fall too short. Social media has made this even worse. We scroll through TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and think everyone's life is so perfect. Perfect money, perfect jobs, perfect girl, perfect car. It's like motherfuckers got no issues. But here's the thing, they don't post the times when they got rejected, they lost that job, they went broke. They don't post that. They don't post the struggle. This creates a false narrative that success is achievable easily. When we compare our messy behind the scene lives to someone else's highlight reel, it feels like failure is something you should be ashamed of. But let me tell you this, every person you have seen succeed has failed multiple times in their life. Probably more times than you could imagine. They just don't talk about it as much. Stop competing with other people. It's you versus you. Be better than what you were yesterday. So the first step to embracing failure, stop caring what other people think. That's not gonna pay your bills. They don't write your story and they definitely don't define your potential. Now here's something I learned the hard way. Failure builds resilience. When everything is going smoothly, you're comfortable. But comfort doesn't push you to grow. It's the challenges, the setbacks. Let me share a little personal story. Some amount of years ago, I was going through lots of panic attacks and other issues with my health. And I learned the hard way that doctors weren't gonna help me, my family wasn't gonna help me, and my friends weren't gonna help me. I had to face the fact that it was between me, myself, and God. I had multiple choices. I could have been stacked up on meds my whole life, or I could just not change anything, keep suffering, or I can change my diet, start taking herbs, start fasting, start working out more, start reading, get off your phone. I chose this option. This helped me grow 1,000,000 times than what these other options would have. At the time I hit rock bottom, but looking back, that only made me stronger. And that was honestly the best thing that could have happened to me. It taught me patience, it taught me how to problem solve, and most importantly, to never fucking give up. Cause at that point in my life, giving up wasn't just like quitting a sport or giving up on that girl you were chasing for a long ass time. No, it wasn't the same as that type of giving up. This type of giving up was giving up on your life, possibly ending your own life. That's how rock bottom it was. Now obviously everybody's heard of the story of Michael Jordan getting cut from his basketball team. He didn't really actually get cut, he just got moved down from varsity to JV. But the thing is, no one gives a fuck about JV. JV was like leftovers. That's the sad truth. I was on JV at one point. MJ saw that as a failure and that motivated him and he kept working. Now we got high top Jordan 1 retros, Jordan 4s, Legend Blues, all because he got cut from varsity. And he's also considered the GOAT of basketball. Bro, the simple lesson here is failure forces you to think differently. It opens doors and feelings you didn't even know you had. When you're backed up into the corner, you're forced to get creative and to adapt, and that's where the real progress begins. Think about it, if everything worked together the first time, would you even consider trying to grow, trying to better yourself? Honestly, probably not, because I wouldn't. Failure is God's way of telling you there's something better waiting for you, but only if you're willing to work for it. The most famous books and movies around you, like Harry Potter, those were failures. I was living in this car, homeless, probably hungry, starving, skinny as hell, getting denied by 12 different publishers. Now he has one of the greatest books and movie series of all time. What do all those people have in common? They never stopped, they never gave up. They didn't let failure define them. Instead, they used it as fuel to keep going. And that's the difference. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it. So ask yourself, how would you change your life if you stopped being afraid to fail? What could you accomplish if you didn't see failure as a place to stop or a roadblock, but instead you saw it as a stepping stone or a detour? So now you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually embrace failure? Here's 3 simple steps. Reframe your mindset. Stop asking yourself, why did this happen to me? And start asking yourself, how can I learn from this? Every failure has a lesson if you're willing to look for it. Next, take small risks. Don't wait for the perfect moment. start small and learn as you grow. The more you fail, the more you grow. Now last is reflect and adapt. After every setback, take some time and reflect. Write down what worked and what didn't, and what you could do differently next time. The truth is, failure does not define you. What defines you is what you do after you fail. Failure isn't the end of your story, it's just the beginning, and the gasoline that drives you to your goal. Next time you fail, pick your head up and keep going. Embrace that failure, cause sometimes failure feels fucking good, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you fail, pick yourself up and keep going. It's a real feeling. Alright, now last and not least, bro, if you fail, get the fuck up.